Stop now. Breathe. Look around you. The whole world is screaming in your ears that life is a battle. From the moment you wake up until the instant your eyes close in exhaustion, society has sold you a brutal lie. They said that to win, you need to fight. They said that to conquer, you need to destroy. They said that success is measured by the amount of blood, sweat, and effort you leave on the arena floor. But what if I told you that all of this is an illusion? What if I told you that there is a flaw in reality, an error in the code of human existence that was discovered more than 2,500 years ago? There is a path where victory requires no conflict. There is a way to conquer entire cities without firing a single arrow, to subdue armies without raising a sword, and to silence your enemies without ever raising your voice. This is not pacifism. This is not weakness. This is the pinnacle of supreme strategy. This is Sun Tzu's glitch. Sun Tzu was not just a general. He was a ghost in the machine of Chinese history. While other generals studied attack formations and supply logistics, Sun Tzu studied emptiness. He studied the mind. He understood that war doesn't happen on the battlefield. The battlefield is merely the final symptom of a conflict that was resolved long before in the shadows of perception. Most people live their lives reacting. They react to offenses. They react to crises. They react to challenges. They are like dry leaves in a gale, tossed about by the force of circumstances. Master Sun teaches the opposite. He teaches to be the wind, the flaw he discovered, the secret he codified in The Art of War, is that reality is malleable for those who master themselves and understand the nature of deception. All war is based on deception, not vulgar lies, but the manipulation of the perception of reality. If you can make your opponent believe that strength is weakness and that weakness is strength, you have already won before you even meet. Think about the battles you fight every day, at work, in your relationships, in your inner search for peace. How many times have you clashed head-on with an obstacle using brute force, only to find yourself worn down and frustrated? The direct approach is the fool's path. The wise warrior, the supreme strategist, flows like water. Water doesn't try to break the rock through immediate force. It flows around it. It envelops it. It patiently wears it down until the rock ceases to be an obstacle and becomes part of the riverbed. Sun Tzu's glitch is the understanding that resistance is useless if there is nothing to resist. When you become empty, when you become formless, your enemy has nowhere to attack. He spends his energy striking the air, exhausting himself in his own fury, while you remain untouched, watching, waiting for the exact moment when he crumbles under the weight of his own aggression. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. This phrase echoes through the millennia, but few stop to truly absorb its theosophical weight. To subdue without fighting does not mean to convince the other with sweet words. It means creating a situation, a strategic positioning so overwhelming, so inevitable, that the fight becomes unnecessary because the outcome is already determined. It is checkmate delivered before the opponent realizes the game has begun. To access this power, you need to abandon the ego's need to be recognized as the victor. The ego wants applause. The ego wants the glory of bloody battle. The strategic spirit wants only the result. The perfect general is the one whose victories are not acclaimed, for he solved the problems before they became visible crises. He won in silence. He altered the currents of destiny so subtly that the world believes peace was a natural accident. Imagine you stand before an impenetrable fortress. The average warrior would gather troops, build catapults, and launch a frontal assault, costing thousands of lives. The student of Sun Tzu would look at the fortress and see not the walls, but the minds of the men within them. He would attack their alliances. He would attack their supplies. He would attack their will to fight. He would sow discord among the enemy commanders. He would cause fear to spread like a silent plague through the stone corridors. And then, without a single stone being thrown, the gates would open, not by force, but by inner collapse. This applies to your life now. That impossible problem you face, that difficult person you deal with, that unattainable goal. You are trying to break down the wall with your head. Stop. Become formless. Where is the flaw in the structure? Where is the unspoken fear? Where is the hidden desire? That is where you must act. Invisibly, silently, lethally. The concept of empty and full is fundamental here. You must attack the emptiness with your fullness. Where the opponent is prepared, you avoid. Where he is relaxed, you attack. But to do this, you need a level of self-knowledge bordering on the spiritual. Know your enemy and know yourself. In 100 battles, you will never be victorious. If you know yourself but not your enemy, your chances of winning and losing are equal. If you ignore both your enemy and yourself, you will only count your battles by your defeats. Most of us walk through life blind. We don't know our own emotional triggers, our weaknesses, our fears, and even less do we bother to deeply understand the motivations of those around us. We react based on assumptions, projecting our insecurities onto the world. To activate the glitch, you must become a clean mirror. You must see reality exactly as it is, stripped of your desires and fears. Only with this crystal clear clarity can you see the invisible strings that move the puppets around you. Invincibility lies in defense, the possibility of victory in attack. He who defends shows that his strength is inadequate. He who attacks shows that it is abundant. But Sun Tzu's defense is not passivity. It is the creation of an unassailable position. It is building your life, your finances, your mind, and your spirit in such a way that external chaos cannot penetrate. It is becoming anti-fragile. When you are unassailable, you dictate the terms of engagement. You choose when and where the battle will take place, if it will take place at all. You lure the opponent onto your terrain, where you know every stone, every shadow, every advantage. You tire him before he reaches you. You make him march through difficult terrain, consuming his resources, while you rest, waiting, accumulating potential. This is winning without fighting. It is letting the enemy defeat himself. There is a profound mystery in the idea of form. Sun Tzu says, "Let your form be that of having no form." What has form can be defined, can be studied, can be countered. If you define yourself as only this or that, you limit yourself. If you are predictable, you are vulnerable. The supreme strategist is a chameleon. He changes with the seasons, with the terrain, with the need. He does not cling to rigid dogmas or immutable plans. He flows. In a world obsessed with fixed identities and labels, being indefinable is the greatest superpower. When no one knows what your next move will be, when no one understands the depth of your plans, you generate a field of fear and respect. The unknown is the greatest psychological weapon. Keep your plans dark and impenetrable as the night, and when you move, strike like lightning. At this point, you might be wondering how to apply this philosophy of ancient generals to a world of modern technology, deadlines, and anxiety. The answer lies in conserving vital energy. Every unnecessary conflict, every futile argument on the internet, every worry about what you cannot control is a drain on energy. You are bleeding vitality. The master strategist conserves his strength. He does not engage in battles that do not bring strategic gain. He smiles at provocation and goes on his way, for he knows that his energy is too precious to be wasted on the irrelevant. He knows that anger is defeat. If the enemy manages to irritate him, he controls him. The moment you lose emotional control is the moment you have lost the war, even if the physical fight has not yet begun. Emotional discipline is the armor of the modern warrior. Let's delve deeper into the concept of Shi, the strategic moment, the accumulated energy potential. Imagine a round stone atop a 1,000-meter mountain. It's stationary, there's no movement, but there's a terrifying potential within it. Just a small push, a minimal effort, and the stone will roll down the mountain with unstoppable force, crushing everything in its path. That's shy. The art of winning without fighting is the art of positioning the stone. It's working silently, behind the scenes, putting all the pieces in place, creating the perfect conditions. And when the moment is right, the action will be minimal, but the impact will be total. Most people try to push the stone uphill. They fight against gravity, against the nature of things. The strategist rolls the stone downhill. He uses the force of the environment to his advantage. He navigates the currents instead of swimming against them. Deception, as a tool, must be understood in its philosophical purity. Appear incapable when capable. Appear inactive when active. When near, make it seem far. When far, make it seem near. This is the manipulation of space and time in the mind of the adversary. Today, this means controlling information. What do you reveal to the world? What do you hide? In an age of overexposure, mystery is strong currency. Don't give away your intentions. Don't announce your next steps on social media. Let the results speak, not the promises. When you announce what you're going to do, you give the world a chance to interfere. Work in the dark, build in silence. And when you emerge, it will be too late for anyone to stop you. There is also the strategy of leaving an escape route for the surrounded enemy. Sun Tzu warns, to a surrounded enemy, you must leave an escape route. Why? Because a hopeless enemy will fight to the death with supernatural ferocity. He has nothing to lose. But if you give him a small escape route, his will to fight will dissipate as his mind will focus on survival, on escape, not on victory. How does this apply to you? Never corner someone in such a way that you completely destroy their dignity. If you need to win an argument, a negotiation, let the other side walk away with something. Let them keep their face. By doing so, you avoid creating an eternal enemy who will live only to seek revenge. Total and humiliating victory is often the seed of future defeat. True victory is one that restores balance and allows life to continue, with you in a superior position, but without the chaos of total destruction. Speed is the essence of war, but speed is not haste. Haste is desperation. Speed is timed precision. Arriving at the battlefield before the enemy means resting while he arrives exhausted. Being prepared before the crisis means navigating the storm calmly while others drown. The glitch demands that you live in the future. You must predict the moves. You must see the second and third order consequences of your actions. While the average person thinks, if I do this, what happens now? The strategist thinks, if I do this, what will happen 10 moves from now? This long-range vision transforms immediate chaos into comprehensible order. The world seems chaotic only to those who cannot see the patterns. For those who study the patterns, the world is a chessboard where the pieces move with predictable logic. But the deepest level, the ultimate secret of the glitch, is the morality of victory. Sun Tzu knew that a prolonged war never benefits the country. There is no example of a nation that has benefited from a prolonged war. The goal is peace. The goal is preservation. Winning 100 battles is not the pinnacle of skill. The pinnacle of skill is subduing the enemy without fighting so that you can preserve the state, preserve the people, preserve the resources. In your life, this means that your ambition should not cost you your health, your family, or your soul. If you conquer the world, but lose yourself in the battle, you haven't won. You were the first casualty. Real victory is sustainable. It's one that brings prosperity not only to you, but to the ecosystem around you. The leader who wins without fighting is the one who creates an environment where everyone thrives under their guidance, where opposition dissolves because cooperation becomes more advantageous. You must be like the serpent of Sharon. When attacked in the head, it strikes back with its tail. When attacked in the tail, it strikes back with its head. When attacked in the middle, it strikes back with both. This is total connectivity. Your mind, body, and spirit must act as a cohesive unit. There can be no doubt in your action, nor hesitation in your thought. When you decide to act, it must be absolute. But until that moment, you must be inscrutable. The world will try to categorize you, try to predict you, try to control you. Do not allow it. Be the error in the system. Be the anomaly. Be the one who smiles in the face of adversity, because you have already seen the end of the game before the pieces have even been moved. Embrace the paradox. To have peace, be prepared for war. To win, be willing to yield. To be strong, acknowledge your vulnerability. Sun Tzu's path is not a straight line. It's a circle. It's the understanding that opposites complement each other. Day is born from night. Victory is born from invisible planning. You now hold the key. The glitch has been revealed. It's not magic. It's supreme consciousness. It's the refusal to play by the rules that were designed to keep you small. The rules say, fight and suffer. Reality says, observe, adapt, flow, and win. The choice is now yours. Will you continue to be the foot soldier, expendable on life's front lines, or will you assume the mantle of the phantom general, the one who wins in the shadows and shapes destiny with the power of the silent mind? The war is over, and you won, because you decided not to fight the battle they prepared for you. You created your own game, and in your game, you are the master. If this content resonated with you, if you felt the truth of these words resonate with your life strategy, leave a like, comment, "I won without fighting," and subscribe to the channel for more revelations that will change your reality.